Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. So we're starting out at Roche Lake Rd and we're going to be heading south on Highway 5A, and that's also called the Princeton Kamloops Highway. This road travels along a route that used to be the main highway between Merritt and Kamloops. Now they've got the Coquihalla, and you can see it out on the map, number 5, Highway 5, way off in the distance there on the top left. That's the main highway now, Coquihalla Highway. But this used to be the main route, and it follows along a number of lakes here. This one I think is Trap Lake, but it goes by Ritchie Lake, Napier Lake, Tule Lake, and then we're going to go all the way down to Stump Lake. Stump Lake is a pretty popular lake. It's quite long. A lot of people fish there. Partway down the lake there's a boat launch that can be quite busy. There's a number of houses around the lake on both ends. So we're going to go right down the length of the lake, and we're going to turn around and behind and come up a road called Planet Mine Road. There's an old mine there. I think that's why they call it that. But there's also another, a little bit further down the road, there's a road called Peter Hope Road, and that takes you up to Peter Hope Lake, which is another really popular spot. I don't know how the fishing is in these smaller lakes along the left there. I'm not sure which one that one is, but there are a lot of people that go to Stump Lake just for the fishing. Quite large fish in there. It can be quite challenging though, because the wind picks up and blows down this valley, particularly in the afternoons when things are heated up and that. You get the normal winds that kind of blow. We're fairly high here. Yeah, if you were to head where we turned left onto this highway, if you go to the right, you go towards Kamloops, and that's about 30 kilometers away, or about a half an hour to get right downtown. But it's pretty much all climbing to get up to that point. It's a nice little drive along here though. This is towards the end of summer, and there's actually still an active forest fire further to the west. We're traveling south, but further to the west. So you'll see a couple of cones and markers and stuff like that set up, kind of warning people to slow down in different spots. It's because they're trying to let people know that a lot of the firefighting vehicles and stuff like that will be traveling through this area and making turns off the highway. So they want to kind of slow people down at these points. I think there's like maybe 2 or 3 different spots along here that I saw, and they have a first aid attendant and stuff sitting in a truck at the road, I think partially to do maybe some traffic control as well. But you can see, you might be able to see on the right hand side here a couple of times there's some flags or cones or something set up. As I've mentioned in a couple other videos, this has been a really dry and warm summer, but you wouldn't know it by some of the valleys like this where you have so much water and that look nice and green like normal. But it's been a really bad forest fire year. If you keep heading down this road, you'll get to a place called Nicola Lake, and then eventually to Merritt. And Merritt, of course, you can join up with Highway 5, and that's the Coquihalla, and that'll either take you back towards Kamloops, or you can head down to the coast, down towards Vancouver, the lower mainland. And actually in Merritt you can head to the east and head towards Kelowna in the Okanagan Valley. So that's Stump Lake there. There's a couple of roads that head off to the left here, go to different small little communities and that, and there's a road that goes around the lake, but further up the hill. That's old Kamloops Road. I haven't been down that in a long time. Many years, but talked about how dry it's been this summer. It's quite often in the spring, with all the snow melting and that, this lake will raise up quite a lot. There's actually some flooding around here, and I think the highway has actually been closed before because the water level's so high that it's either crossing or threatened to cross the road. You can see how close it gets here. There's some big fish in this lake, 10 pounds, rainbow trout. I don't know, there might be kokanee in here too, I'm not sure, but so that's one of those speed signs, I think, for the firefighters, and that they're going to be another route off to the right, another road where they're trying to slow you down. I think that's what that's for. So they have water trucks and all kinds of things going up there. Big trucks with equipment and that sort of thing as well. Yeah, that's what that is there. So can be a busy place. I don't think we've missed it, but there's a boat launch on the left-hand side of the road, and there's kind of limited parking, but that's where most people launch their boats from. I think that's the only place I've ever launched, somewhere around here. It's coming up, I think. Don't think we passed it. Yeah, there you can see on the left, boat launch and some trucks in that park there. I suppose it can be a difficult lake to fish as well. It's got kind of one of those reputations. Instead of Stump Lake, some people call it Stumped Lake. But it's just one of those lakes you have to have a bit of experience to kind of know where to go. It's so big. It's actually very long, but not too wide, but there's lots of fishing shows that have been there, TV shows and that. I'm sure you could probably find those videos on YouTube here. If I find anything, I'll link to it in the description. I know there's a couple that I've watched that show this you can quite distinctly see the highway because of the trucks and stuff going by. So up ahead here, a little ways, when we make a left-hand turn, actually see that sign there? That's letting you know there's another area where firefighters and stuff are turning off. But we're going to be making a left-hand turn up here in a little bit. And that road, I mentioned it's called Planet Mine Road. I didn't know that's what it was called, so I looked it up, but as I was driving up there, yeah, here it is here. As I was driving up there, I noticed some old, well, tailings and that, but it looked like an old shack or mine shaft or something, like an old one in the hillside on the right hand side, not far off the road. But I didn't stop. But you can see there's piles of gravel and stuff here to the right, so that has a look of tailings and that. So I don't know if there's a newer version of this thing that I saw, but there was a little bit further along here. You get closer, then the trees get closer to the road. I saw something to the right. I didn't stop though. It's quite steep going down to some of these places, like as you go along here. Be kind of an adventure if you lived here in the winter trying to get down there. Well, this is where we'll end this video. And if you like this type of thing, think about subscribing. If you give it a like, I always appreciate that. But other than that, I'll catch you on the next one.